Welcome, everybody, to another Saturday episode of the Maximum Lawyer Podcast. This is Tyson Mutrux. And today I want to talk to you about this idea that kind of popped into my brain as we were in the middle of this hot seat. And I'll call it the 15-minute mile concept. And so we can't talk about the details of what we talk about in the hot seat. So I'm gonna make up another scenario. So let's say that you're considering an employee, terminating an employee. Okay, so this is a different scenario than what we talked about on the hot seat with this guild member. And so let's say you're considering terminating this employee. But before I get to that, so that's kind of the setup of what we're going to talk about. So let's say that you are considering terminating an employee. Right? So let's call her Susie. So Susie has been performing badly for quite some time. Okay, not doing great. And then all of a sudden you see that there's a bump in her performance. She's still well below average, but she's improving, right? So you're thinking, oh, you know what? Susie might be on the way up. Susie might be on the way up. So, we should give her another try. She kind of stays at that for a while, but you're thinking, hey, she improved. She's good. And so I kind of think about it like this, right? If you, for anyone that doesn't know about running a mile, okay, I'd say like a decent time is probably like 8 minutes, okay. And I'm talking about like for like people that run on a regular basis. Like really, really good is like 6 minutes. Like there's like the 4 minute mile. Those are like elite runners kind of a thing. But 18 minutes is pretty bad. Okay, so let's say that you've got this person. Let's call the person Susie. All right, let's say Susie runs an 18-minute mile regularly. All right, and all of a sudden she starts running a 15-minute mile. That's a pretty good improvement, right? From 18 minutes to 15 minutes. So that sounds great when you're talking about the improvement. But the reality is that Susie's still running a 15-minute mile, and she's terrible. You wouldn't put her on your track team. You would not put her on your track team because she's absolutely terrible. She's running a 15-minute freaking mile. That's bad still. That's really, really bad. And so sometimes I think what we do is sometimes our employees are running an 18-minute mile, and then all of a sudden they run a 15-minute mile. And this could be anything you can think of. It doesn't have to be employees, where you see a slight improvement. So you see a slight improvement, and what you do in your mind is you exaggerate that improvement to think it is this massive improvement. And reality is, it's still bad. Okay, Susie's still bad. Susie should no longer be in your firm. But what you've done is you've exaggerated the improvement, and in your head, she's good now. But in reality, Susie's still bad. Susie is still running a 15-minute mile, and Susie should not be on the track team. So that's the concept of the 15-minute mile. Think about all the other things, other areas in your life where maybe you've done that, where you've seen a slight improvement, you then ignore all the bad, and you think, oh, we're good. So look at those areas, see if you can improve in those areas, see if there's things you can stop doing, and maybe that'll help you out. But that's all I have here for you today. I want to remind you to make sure you shoot me a text. Love to hear from you. Always do. It's great to hear the feedback you're giving me, and it helps me shape the episodes that we're doing. So make sure you keep them coming, because that's how I know what to do. If you don't like something, that's probably more important than if you do like something. But I do want to know that we're giving you the right content. So make sure you do let us know. 314-501-9260. Also comment. If you give 5-star reviews on the podcast, I would greatly appreciate it. If you don't like something, just text me, please, because we'll fix it. Don't give a 1-star review. And luckily we I don't know where they would come from, but we do have like 1 or 2 1-star reviews. There's no comment on them. It's just a 1-star review, which kind of is aggravating. But if you don't like something that I talked about, I would actually love that you send me a text about it. We can talk about it. And if I'm wrong, hey, I'll do a podcast about it. It'd be great. If you want to come on the podcast, I'll talk to you about it. But if you are liking it, which the vast majority of you are based on the feedback I'm getting from you, which I love to hear. Um, if you gave us a 5-star review, I'd really, really appreciate it, especially if you'd mention like the Saturday episodes. That way we can kind of differentiate it. It is really, really helpful. But that's all I have for you today. Um, Make it a great day. Have a great weekend. Until next week, remember that consistent action is the blueprint that turns your goals into reality. Take care, everybody.